Okay, what is Wuthering Waves? It's Genshin Impact, right? Well, Wuthering Waves is a game where you're an anime girl and this Pokemon is leading you to a little light. The light is a diary entry that you don't care about, and it gives you a whole cutscene to load it. Wuthering Waves is a game about delivering some ephemeral golden cubes to this little dude. Look at him, so happy, dancing. Bam! Ooh. And you get some rewards. That's what it's all about, baby, the rewards. It's a gacha game, okay? It's Genshin Impact, the rewards, there you go. Wuthering Waves is a game about sitting down in the stool. Looking fabulous. And getting painted by this dude. Yep, and they give you a black screen to tell you that you've been painted. Fantastic. Listen, give me my rewards, man. What it's all about at the end of the day. Where are the rewards at, okay? It's the same rewards. And Wuthering Waves is a game where you start this quest because you want some rewards, and there's this whole section called character quests, so, you know, you do some suburban acrobatics to the theater. Bam, bam. Just booking it. Go to the theater. Quest that we're meeting someone unique, and I think I know where this is heading. It's the mother of all twinks. Wuthering Waves is a role-playing game where you play a very hollow role. Here you're gonna go along with this furry lion boy to chat with his exotic dancing clients, talking to the souvenir shop NPC about his granddad's dance move wishes. What? And then suddenly the ramen guy, the food guy's talking to us about the Jingle Beast. Of course, the wolf man knows about that shit. Looks all morose off in the distance. So, what is Wuthering Waves?
And since he said he's a she, I'm Ling Yan. You can trust us.
It's about my brother, Beiji.
There's someone calling for help. Over there, the Hu Chiefs are attacking.
The fucking what now are attacking? Wuthering Waves is the game where a bunch of mundane shit happens and you take place in a really void facsimile of a story for an RPG, and then you get to do some really sick fight sequences with your 3-person team. Check this shit out. You saw that swap? Like, the animations are beautiful. This character controls a little, it's like a Lapras, you know? Like an ice horse. Sick. What is Wuthering Waves?
Let's look around and stay alert.
Wuthering Waves is a game where you arrive at an encampment and the only interactable is a cooking station. And you can make consumable items that you'll never want to use. Beautiful sound design here, though. Wuthering Waves is a game where they pretend that you're being stealthy and you investigate the camp of a cult. Then you run at some glowing lights on the ground. Gives you some flavor dialogue. It's the Tusk. Maybe they're poaching, perhaps. Meat. Spoiled. And the lady we're helping.
What on earth would take my brother?
And a messy something or another on a chair. Yeah, trust your heart, Beiji. Is Wuthering Waves a game about trusting your heart?
She'll be safer with you by her side. If anything happens, I'll thank you, Rover. You take care of yourself.
This thing may still be working.
Sorry, Beishi. Perhaps you were right. Farewell, Beishi.
It's probably my brother's, but that was my childhood dream.
Oh, the sound of the Jingle Beast.
No, I know. A while ago, as I
Oh.
after hearing the bell, I just kept if I hadn't made so, yes. Alright.
Ah,
Let's
she's
go.
connected to the Jingle Beast. Wuthering Waves is a game where you find these minerals and you collect them with guns and swords. What are these minerals for? I think for making weapons, but usually not good uns. Yeah, get him. Get it, yeah. Wuthering Waves takes place in a post-apocalyptic world, which, much akin to Breath of the Wild, a game that it attempts to emulate, makes it feel overwhelmingly lonely. Look at this gloomy landscape. Sometimes there's a sun, but this is just what it's like. There's grassy hills, these gacha chests that give you 1/8 or 1/16 of a chance at 1/80th of a character. Oh, and by the way, I hope you like this fucking Bioshock 1-ass puzzle, so you're gonna be doing it a lot.
I'll fire it up. Ally of justice.
Woohoo! We did it. But, you know, Wuthering Waves isn't all that. You know, sometimes you come up on a group of enemies, 3 of them. Shoot them with your guns, pew pew pew. Beautiful animations. Truly. And the combat feels satisfying. And it's simple. Can be done on mobile as well. It's simple and it has some elements of depth. Ah, nice. We completed that, that combat sequence. We get some lemongrass for cooking. Favorite activity. Oh, and we found another puzzle, it seems. Oh, wonderful. And there's I think that's a basic, no, it's an advanced supply chest. So that means we'll get, I think it is 1/16th of 1/80th of a chance at getting one of the characters that they make the best animations for and do the most DPS. And that is the only progression in Wuthering Waves, really. They kind of branch off like general XP in a couple of different ways. You like level up your weapon. You also level up, instead of like putting accessories on your character in this game, you attach Pokemon to your body, and then you level up the Pokemon as well. And not only is it level, like having the resources to level up the Pokemon attached to your body, but you have to get like the Pokemon has to be good to begin with, has to have good substats. Wuthering Waves is a game about maximizing DPS on 6 of your characters to do the Tower of Adversity. Okay, that's what Wuthering, because otherwise, listen, because otherwise, if that's not what Wuthering Waves is, then Wuthering Waves is this. It's doing a pretty mundane puzzle where rotating each thing and waiting for the animation is where most of the difficulty comes from. Wait, was I struggling on this puzzle? Oh, I see, sort of. I think I didn't realize that like the points pointed in a different direction. But yeah, this is Wuthering Waves. It's a game about doing a little puzzle. And the little puzzle gives you, generally, it'll give you a couple things. Main thing is called Astrite, which is the gacha money that lets you pull for a chance at one of the good characters. And when the combat and the animation, you know, like the graphics in general, when that's so much better, when it's so much better than like these like old RPG puzzles, like I mean, am I mad at this puzzle because I took a long time at it? I didn't even have I enjoyed doing the puzzle a decent amount. It felt good because I had the promise of the character poll in front of me. Right? But one of the core elements of the world of Wuthering Waves is that it's full of these small diversions, these small puzzles, which drip feed you the currency that lets you pull for a chance at a rare character. Because the game is built around that monetary system that Genshin Impact popularized. I don't know if it was really used before it, but basically, if you just complete like all of the content, like all content gives you chances at pulling for a good character, for a 5-star character is the vernacular. There, I did it. Look, got 10 Astrite, Union XP. You need that to be able, like, in these games. I played Honkai Star Rail, but not Genshin Impact. And in these games, you gotta you gotta earn the ability to level up your character, right? You can't just level up your character to max level. You have to you have to level up your own level to a certain threshold before it allows you to level up the individual character that you pull, the resonator that you get, they call it. You know, it's the shinobi of the world. By the way, I hope you like throwing these fireballs, these firebomb plants. This is another of the main puzzles in Wuthering Waves. There's only like 6 or 7 main puzzles, and then there's a few one-off puzzles, and you'll just find them throughout the world. And they sort of like the Breath of the Wild shrines, they exist to varying degrees of difficulty. And it's fine. I mean, it's okay. It's just that if each of these little quests wasn't giving you the reward chest that gives you the small chance at getting a pull for a character, then I wouldn't do this content. And I think that underlines what exactly is the problem with these types of games. It's not the worst design it could have. It's just that when the graphics are so insanely good and the scope is so large and I know it's making so much money, I feel like it's fair to critique it on this level, where it's on the level where I want an actual good video game. I think that there are ways to monetize it and get the same revenue while not wasting developer time on making the world be little puzzles, and not wasting our time making the world be little puzzles. Because with Honkai Star Rail and this game, I mean all gacha games, it's you get to a point where you get enough characters to required to do the harder content. In the case of Honkai Star Rail, it was just if you have Geopard or whatever his name was, and then a couple other good DPS characters, you can do the simulated universe, and there wasn't anything harder. And in this game, there's Tower of Adversity, and it seems you only really need 2 full teams. And I ended up just, I was enjoying being in the game world, so I did a lot of exploration, did a bunch of the content, and we ended up, getting sufficient characters for 2 teams. And now it's I don't even want to log in because the entire game was alright, well, I'm going to get enough characters to do the hard content. And now I've caught up on the hard content I can do with those characters as well. So I just had to level up my main level. And it's just doing this list of subcategories of XP. And I mean, is it better than Breath of the Wild? Just having shrines and a distant goal of saving Zelda? Wuthering Waves is a game about running across a field.
Endless reverberation.
Wow, these animations are excellent. It's a shame that all of these characters get power cuts because of your limited resources and you end up being unable to use them as you progress your world level, or whatever the equivalent is called. Yeah, look at her go. Hit him with the ice seal. Doing this to get Astrite, of course. You do level up your logbook for killing enemies, which lets them be better, but they end up essentially being a necklace. It's just a stat stick. They sort of have effects, but there's usually just an optimal one to use, so you don't really... the game kind of gives you the impression of being mix and matchable, but there's really just a right and a wrong a lot of the time. Is that good game design? I don't know. You like doing this fucking puzzle? I had a decent time. Look at this atmosphere. Look at the clouds, man. Great. I mean, I just wish... like, it's just so... Some parts of it are so good. Can't help but wish that the rest of it would live up to it. Like, it really feels like there's just so many excellence employees working on this game, but it has no soul or direction. Like, some of the characters look cool also, but pretty much all of them have just a fucking repugnant personality. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what is about the writing in this game, man. But it looks great. Of all my gripes with the game, atmosphere is certainly not one. Music's great, sound design's great. Like, it feels like they have all of the technical aspects of the game down really well. So it's just so confusing how, like, the state of gaming as it is that they can refine, like, all these technical aspects. The combat can look exciting. And, you know, they made a system that lets them make a lot of money off of it. But there's no game in the game. Like, this fight is, you know...
Stay behind me.
Oh, I think this might be the first time we've seen these NPCs. But there's just not that much going on. Oh yeah, this is for a quest. Look at here. But they reuse those same NPCs for, like, later challenge fights and stuff like that many, many, many times. So, and especially because they're all pretty forgettable the first time, it's like, I don't know, when I played through this game, and sort of same thing with Honkai Star Rail, it's like, I got through, like, the main quest line, and I was kind of like, alright, we got, like, the starter stuff out of the way. Now we get to play the actual game. And then they don't have, like... see me dodge that boar. They don't have, like, anything else for you to do except for min-max your character for the one challenge mode. And then exploring the beautiful world, which is, like, I think really the appeal of the game. And then these little puzzles. Like, there's, like, a separate... I mean, you know, they combine, like, the pieces of the puzzle. This is like the firebomb puzzle plus the put something on the platform puzzle combined. I mean, it's just not like you could be when you're designing your game, you can have it be whatever you want. Like, what a beautiful landscape. So how is the entire game, for the most part, just fighting groups of 3 enemies at a time and doing, like, the same 5 or 6 quests? You know, there's the firebomb, there's put stuff on a platform, there's the other kind of bomb that you do with your levitation. Yeah, this is the put on a thing block.
Stay behind me.
And I mean, then there's, like, different puzzles that activate when you get there. Like, there's some puzzles where it's like a shape-shifting puzzle because you turn into one of the Pokemons. And those are fun. Like, I don't mind any of these mini games, you know? It's just that the engine of the game is so well made for you to do actual things, and yet they don't have any actual things for you to do. That and, like, you know, the combat looks flashy, but, like, a lot of interesting choices that could be made aren't made, or they're essentially invalidated by the design of the true game, which is the gacha game, where you only level a few characters. You kind of have to pick what characters in advance you want to level, because the leveling resources are limited, unlike in a traditional RPG, where you just get rewarded for the more you use a character. You know, they turn XP into this resource instead. And it makes it so that there's not actually, like, the strategy in, like, selecting your comp and things. It's more so just like, well, this is the only or most viable thing I can make with the characters that I pulled from the gacha system, so I make them. It's not really like... I mean, you know, maybe some people play the game that way, but I feel like you can't really pick your favorites, and you can't really use a character in an interesting way. There's just the best way to do it to maximize DPS for Tower of Adversity. And then there's not really anything else, because, like, beyond that, like, the way that you fight these groups of 3 animals is beyond asinine. Like, you can just mash any character's anything, basically. Aside from, like, a few instances, like, I mean, and some of the bosses are interesting. Like, one of the reasons I'm making this video is just because I have so much footage of Wuthering Waves on my computer. I probably like, fucking 50 hours of gameplay. And I just, like, it's just so boring to parse through. I just need to start, like, pumping it out, editing it down, and getting my thoughts on it out there. Because, you know, I thought, like, because I enjoy the game, I enjoy it, but I couldn't recommend it to someone. I wouldn't recommend it to my girlfriend, because there's no game, like, well, once you're, like, you know, you use the attacks of a character, and you're like, well, cool, the character does those attacks, you see the world's beautiful, feels kind of good to get some loot, but then if you care about the loot at all, then all there is to the game is min-maxing your 2 teams of 3 characters. And the way that you min-max stats, in my opinion, in this game is really not particularly interesting. In fact, it's degenerate in many ways. Like, one of the ways that you effectively build your character, quote-unquote, is you have to acquire an echo with the right substats. And it's not, there's not a strategy like, oh, I think that I could make this character with an echo with this substat. There's just right and wrong, and if you make a mistake, you essentially set back your progress for the DPS contest that is Tower of Adversity. And the main quest is decent. There was one really fun boss fight that they built up to, just like in Honkai Star Rail, but then that was the end of the game, basically. That was the end of the main quest line until the Jinshi expansion, and then that, you know, added a quote-unquote main quest, but it was pretty, like, shit had slowed down significantly. Like, I thought this was like a little blip along the way, but it was like, oh, this was all. And is copying Breath of the Wild really the best use of our resources?
My luck seems better with you.
Like, I mean, Genshin Impact made sense. Almost felt inevitable that you would just take Breath of the Wild and put, like, real gameplay. Because, like, Breath of the Wild was almost like... Breath of the Wild is like a software without a game. Because it's just the world, and then it's like, there's not real Zelda dungeons. Like, they're pretty much negligible. And, like, the weapon durability system, like, there's nothing to collect in Breath of the Wild, really. You just do the shrines for the sake of completing the game and exploring the world. So in many ways, it's like a software without a game attached to it. Like, no real boss fights in Breath of the Wild either. And this is like, you know, it's definitely got some game in there. It's exciting to see some game. But at the same time, I can't help but feel like we had RPGs. Like, we've been doing RPGs well for a long, long time, you know? Like, technical limitations have never been the reason why we couldn't make a good RPG. Most of the time, because RPGs are story-driven. So, the story and the characters are the core of your game for an RPG. And this game gives you the appearance of the characters and story being the core of the game, but it's actually completely secondary to just the software of the world, you know? Like, Breath of the Wild has no game attached to the software, let's say, but this has, like, 5% of a game attached to the software. It has many things that look like game mechanics, but it's not real. Like, this character using her spinny attack, if you come across any of the overworld enemies, you just do anything and they die. And the only check is if these are the characters that you have put your leveling resources into. So, the applications of the best parts of the game, like, you don't get to, like, when you fight bosses, I would say that, like, getting the parry down and then, like, having your switches right is probably the most important thing. It's never really using your moves in the right way. It's just you either, you know, you get the parry, you have the window to do, like, your full combo, quote-unquote, or not. You dodge or not if you're being attacked. Like, there's just not... There just needs to be some in between the boss fight and killing a group of 3 enemies. Other older games have done in-betweens very well. Like, I mean, I don't know why this game couldn't take more inspiration from Dark Souls. It would be infinitely more replayable. I'd be much more incentivized to spend some money if it's like I get to apply these characters to creative situations, you know, because obviously most of the budget's going towards creating these characters, designing them, developing them, but then you just have this empty ass world, like no game to play with them. Like, if there were unique encounters and you could apply their abilities in interesting ways beyond just maximizing DPS, I think that this could be an excellent game. But as it is, it's essentially just a cash grab. One that I'll probably keep playing just because, like, the movements and like the combat is very satisfying. It's just that, you know, that you have to pick or choose. Like, the core of the game is min-maxing your characters, and you have to just fucking look up so many things to be efficient about it. Like, it's just it's a lot of planning that you wouldn't want to do if you're playing the game for, like, the kind of mindless hack and slash combat that it offers, in my opinion, for the majority of the content in the game. And doing the challenges are fun. Like, some of the bosses are definitely challenging, but it's just that so much of it comes down to just having your characters be the right level. Like, you know, are these the ones that you picked to put your XP in? Yes, no. Have you gotten your world level high enough to level them up and match the level of the boss you're fighting? Yes or no? And that sort of dictates. She says, what's it going to be this time? It's going to be Astrite, like it is every time we've ever opened a chest in this world. I just feel like we could have developed on Breath of the Wild ideas a bit more, because Breath of the Wild had nothing. This mineral system is just so... Like, I'll always break these minerals because I'm a gamer like that. I'll collect them, but I really haven't had to use them yet. Except for the dailies. Dude, dailies are so trash. Yeah, I get that. It's you want to incentivize your player base to play the game daily. But you can do that by making a great game, man. You don't have to give me a list of, like, the homework is optimal. Doing your homework is optimal. It's a game. Just let me do what I... Like, we just want to explore the world or whatever. I just want to explore a world like this where there's, like, actual... Like, there's dungeons to find, and enemies don't come in groups of 3 that do nothing. And you can, like, you know... Imagine if you could get this, earn XP by killing stuff. It just straight up. You level up the character using their moves and killing stuff with that character. Like, this... Obviously, because this is the format we've arrived to, like, under capitalism and stuff, this is better for generating revenue for the company, but I feel like... Well, I just feel like the revenue-generating tech has increased so much that you could actually focus much more on making a good game, and it's pretty easy to earn some extra money on top of that with how willing whales are to spend on any game that's, you know, even remotely fun to play. And I would love to see this game, like, sort of take shape, because it really does feel like, it feels like a game that's in alpha mode right now, but it's making millions of dollars already is the thing. And it looks so beautiful. But it feels like a game, but look, fucking a group of 3 things standing here. They take knockback from every part, like all of my moves. The combat feels great though, because the design is so good. I mean, you know, satisfying to fight with these characters. I just wish that there was stuff to get to, like, just let me have regular armor and shit to put on in the weapons that I don't have to spin the gacha for. Like, if there was a real crafting system instead of this fake facsimile crafting system, I would be much more intrigued. Like, you know, imagine if, like, by crafting a certain item, you know, you can make an undroided character perform better somehow. You had to plan in a unique way. Right now, so much stuff is just, there's the right and the wrong way. And in what is supposed, like, I'm pretty sure that they're advertising this as, like, a sandbox game. Like, you get to choose what you do, but really it's like, you know, you either be brainless and, like, there's not enough to, like, there's not enough to actually enjoy. Like, I need to use a little bit more brain. Like, there's not enough to actually enjoy, like, I need to use a little bit more brain. Like, there's not enough to actually enjoy, like, I need to use a little bit more brain. Like, there's not enough to actually enjoy, like, I need to use a little bit more brain. Like, there's not enough to actually enjoy, like, I need to use a little bit more brain. Like, there's not enough to actually enjoy, like, I need to use a little bit more brain. Like, there's not enough to actually enjoy, like, I need to use a little bit more brain. Like, there's not enough to actually enjoy, like, I need to use a little bit more brain. Like, there's not enough to actually enjoy, like, I need to use a little bit more brain. Like, there's not enough to actually enjoy, like, I need to use a little bit more brain. Like, there's not enough to actually enjoy, like, I need to use a little bit more brain. Like, there's not enoug you know? There needs to be a little bit more there, a little more substance if you want me to not to not scrutinize. Because like after all the little goodies in the world runs out, it's like, how fucking devoid is this game gonna feel? Because you run out of chests in each area, right? And so you end up just waiting for the next expansion to give you any resources to pull the character and like progress. Because there's not real progression otherwise. I just give us something to do. Give us a more engaging way to increase our DPS, or give us more reasons to increase our DPS. Can't we, like, we have this whole system of switching characters. Can't we make it more interesting? Can't we give them combinations? I don't know. There's only 2 healers in the game too, which is weird. It's like you can only really have 2 spots on your team are locked. Like on your 2 teams, you know what I mean? There's this girl who's okay, and then there's Vernia, which is the better one, basically. It's just, I don't know. Just not enough game. Look, like it looks beautiful, but it just looks so samey. And look, I'm fighting another group of enemies doing nothing. You know? How can I in good faith be like talking this game up to my YouTube viewers? But that being said, I have so much footage of this game. I love talking about game design. Let me know if you have anything about Wuthering Waves in particular you want me to talk about. We'll keep ranting again next time. We gotta keep pumping these videos out, man. Gotta get the footage over with. Make sure you like and subscribe if you made it this far. Thank you for watching.
Oh, well deserved reward.